What's up, guys? It's Jay with Bearded Dad Fishing, and now that the season is wrapping up here in the north for fishing, it's a really good time to go over your kayak, make sure everything's in tip-top shape for the following year. So I'm gonna share with you guys what I do to wash it, clean it, and what I do to protect the plastic from the sun and the elements. But before we get into that dad joke of the day, did you guys hear that in Hawaii they banned laughing out loud? Yeah, so now it's just aloha. That dad joke was brought to you by John Bathurst from the Facebook group Kayak Fishing Dads. So if you haven't checked out the group, make sure you head over there on Facebook. Again, it's Kayak Fishing Dads. And if you have a dad joke that you really like, comment below and let me know what it is, and it might pop up in one of my next videos. All right, so we just need a couple things to get started. The first is just gonna be a basic car wash. So this is a Turtle Wax car wash soap. So you can find this on Amazon or Walmart or any hardware store really. Secondly is 303 aerospace protectant. So this is used, a lot of guys that detail cars use this. What this does is it protects your kayak from the UV rays of the sun. So those UV rays can start to break down the plastics and it makes it more brittle over time. So this is really important to put on, and we'll put this on at the end after it's all nice and clean. Aside from that, just maybe a rag to clean, to apply the soap and the scrub, a drying rag. You will need a rag for the 303 at the end so that you can just polish it over. A scrub, so a little basic scrub you get from the dollar store. I also have one on a stick that works. That way you don't have to hurt your old man back. And then some buckets just for the water and the soap. And last but not least, a pair of your wife's Crocs. Because they got good juju, man. She doesn't even know I'm wearing them. She's probably gonna be upset when she finds out. All right, so the first step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start removing all the accessories. So you wanna take out any of your Yak Attack accessories, your clips, your lock and loads. You wanna take out your seat if you have a removable seat. And then you wanna cover up any electronics, any wires that you might have. So I have a little sandwich bag. So since my wires run through the hole, I can't take the wires out. So I have a little sandwich bag. I'm just gonna tape it around the ends of the wires just so those don't get wet, or I try not to wet them anyways. So we'll do that first. All right, now that all the accessories are removed off the kayak, I'll show you real quick what I mean about covering up your wires. So these are the wires that I covered up. So I just used some duct tape and a little plastic bag. Keep it tucked in there. So now we can get to brushing and using the soap and cleaning up. So one thing that you want to do is make sure you clean up the water line, because that's where a lot of the scum builds up from the lakes and the nasty water. So you'll see like that's the darker part of the dirt. So make sure you get under there and clean that up. You can also flip over the kayak, which I'll do at the end. But yeah, you really want to work those areas because that's where a lot of that crud and crap really build up. And when you're doing this, one of the first things you have to remember to do is make sure all your hatches are closed, because one of mine was not fully closed. So if it's not closed, you're gonna get all that water in there, and we don't want that to happen. All right, once you got everything scrubbed down, grab your hose or bucket of water or whatever and just spray that sucker down. So I sprayed her down, and now there's a couple spots I see I still got a hit, so I'm just gonna scrub it down again and make sure I get those coffee stains out, make sure I get most of those scum lines out, and then we'll be good to go and dry her up, and then start applying the 303. All right, so I actually moved the kayak a little bit because the whole ground was wet from washing it, but so I moved it. We'll get the 303 on there. Just real quick, make sure before you apply this that your kayak is totally dry. Right, so it's important that it's dry because this does not adhere well to the plastic if it's wet. So make sure you take your time, go through with your towel, and make sure all the crevices are dry. Wherever you're applying this, you want it to be dry, or leave it to sit out to dry a little bit in the sun, I don't have that luxury right now because, like I said, it's like 20 degrees over here, so it's a little chilly. So I dried it up as best as I could. But you're gonna want your rag and your spray. And what you're gonna do is you can spray this directly onto the kayak, which is fine on the bigger areas. For the smaller areas, your best bet is to spray onto the rag and get into those crevices. And you're gonna wipe it down. It's almost like staining wood. Like you're gonna wipe it down and try to get, there's no clumps, there's nothing else. If you have another rag to kind of follow up with it, that's even better. But we wanna get a nice coat on there. It's gonna get really shiny, and that's what you want, because this is basically feeding the oils back into your hull that the sun and the UV rays just sucked right out of it. So take your time, go through it. Like I said, dry it, and now we're gonna get to the UV Protectant 303. All right, guys, she's all cleaned up, she's shiny. That 303 spray goes on real easy. It's important, so make sure you put that stuff on it. Take care of your kayak, and she will take care of you. All right, so I'm gonna put up a video on my review on this Sportsman 120 PDL right here, and I'm also put a video to my fish finder setup for the same kayak. So let me know what you guys do different on the comments below. I'm excited to know. All right, till next time, peace and God bless.